Hello, it's good to meet you all. My name is LIN CHIA-JOU. I'm a deaf dancer. I have asked an interpreter to interpret my sign language for you as I speak. So if you don't understand sign language, don't worry. Now, do you believe this? From junior high school to college, I always felt inferior. I was introverted and scared, just like everybody else. I remember that during that time, I always chose a school close to home. The only difference was that, as for my schooling from junior high to high school, there will be another student would accompany me at school. To tell the truth though, I had no friends. Let's talk about my journey of learning how to dance. Honestly, I really didn't enjoy it. Now, why would I say that? Truthfully, I wasn't happy at all in my childhood. The first time other kids met me, they didn't know how to communicate with a deaf person, nor what they should interact. Despite this, our dance teacher would arrange us in groups of 2. I always worried about how my partners feel when being paired with me. You know, since I'm deaf, I have sharp vision. So, if my partner frowned, I would definitely see it. It could be very hurtful if I found that. From then on, I didn't want to dance. I would tell my mother I don't want to go to dance practice, and would always find some excuse not to go. I have headache, I'm not feeling well, please. My mother would always say, no, you must continue dancing. During high school, when preparing for university entrance exams, I begged my mother, please don't make me dance anymore. I want to leave the dance troupe and study hard for the entrance exams, I said. After thinking about it, she said, fine. I was like, wow, hearing her response. I had long feared telling anyone that I didn't like dancing. Why? As for the dance troupe I was in, I just watched everyone's movements and copied them. However, every once in a while, there are exams. The teacher would send everyone onto the stage. When it was my turn, I wouldn't know what to do. I can't hear the music. So I would look at the teacher, who would look at me and start to count beats. I began to dance to the beats. It all felt terrible. I really did not like it. So I didn't like exams or standing alone on the stage. Also, there were talent competitions. Whenever my mom found out about them, she would always sign me up. Well, I guessed I could just go out on stage and win some prizes. It was pretty easy. I gradually became quite proud of myself, smug even. When another competition came up, my mother signed me up again. However, I felt like something wasn't quite right. Lots of other deaf competitors were participating in the same talent competitions. I had already begun to grow complacent, and soon I began to fall behind. That's when I really started to give up on myself, as well as dancing. Do you know where I was going for college? It was National Taidong University. I had to take a train from Taipei to Taidong for over 5 hours. It was far away. I was so happy. Then I decided to change my introvert personality. I was studying in the Department of Special Education, where I found apathetic and supportive classmates and teachers. They would communicate with me using pen and paper. I felt quite happy and I began to make more and more friends. As time passed, I started to think that I should summon up the courage and truly overcome the difficulties and my introverted nature. I had to face them. I started going online to look for jobs online on PTT. I found an European bakery that was hiring. The interior was so beautiful. I really liked it. So I made a new resume and went to the bakery by myself. Unfortunately, the owner wasn't there. So I left my resume and went home. I waited for 3 days. I like that bakery so much. I want to work there, I told myself. So I went back to that store again. Luckily, the owner was there. He looked at me and said, "You are so brave to come to the store." "Okay," then he said, "Are you free tomorrow? Can you come to work?" I was so happy. Do you have any idea what that moment meant to you? It meant that I began to start overcoming my introverted nature. Around that same time, a senior classmate who was a cheerleader asked me to join the cheerleading squad. On top of that, the Fubang Foundation was holding a talent competition. My classmates encouraged me to sign up for it and give it a try. I started to think again. You remember that, right? It's my fear again. I should be brave, I thought. I can take this on. Okay, I said. I'll sign up. However, I wanted to change my style of dance. In the past, I had always danced to slower music for ballets, martial arts, and modern dance performances. Finding the reason to such music was quite hard. Luckily, I had a classmate who was willing to teach me a new way of dancing. In one day, I had memorized all of the new dance movements. I was working at the bakery then. After work, I would go to my classmate's place to practice. I asked for help to find the reason of the music, and asked my classmate to tell me if my movements were in sync with the music. My classmate kept saying, "Run, run, run," again, again, again. As the number of repetitions increased, so did the pressure. I couldn't stand it anymore. I thought, I can't hear music. What am I going to do? I turned to my mother and told her, "The competition is coming. What if I can't get the reason? Everyone is rooting for me. I can't let them down." My mother told me, "Jing Lan, stop thinking this is a competition. Relax. You got to think how much you love to dance. Isn't that the most important thing?" I looked at her and thought, yes, I have to change my attitude. From then on, I practiced every day until the day of the competition. When I stepped on that wooden stage during rehearsal, the music started playing, and I could feel the reason. Great, I think. Then let's see if I can synchronize my movement to the music. I can. I was ecstatic and really excited to get the show on and dance. In the end, I won a prize and was incredibly happy. At that moment, I overcame those old fears which had haunted me. I have very high self-esteem. So I'm also quite afraid of failure. During my first year of college, I noticed an event called Miss and Mr. Deaf Taiwan. I thought to myself, alright, let's try this. I'll sign up. Besides, I might get extra points because I can dance. When I got to the audition, however, there were a lot of contestants. All of them were practicing catwalk, applying makeup, and dressing up. They looked so amazing. I looked at them and looked at myself. My clothes were too plain. I didn't make the cut for sure. How could it be? Looking back, however, my clothes had always been second-hand and quite ordinary growing up. Those outfits weren't even my style. That shook my confidence. If you remember, I had my part-time job at the bakery at the time. I was making some extra money, so I used that money to buy some clothes that I liked. I would also read magazines to find styles I liked. I did the same for makeup and skincare products as well. After graduating from college, Miss and Mr. Deaf Taiwan was held again. I believe that this time I was ready. I might not have had the resources in my early college days, but I feel ready now. I wanted to conquer that early failure. I went out and bought high heels and some makeup I liked to bring my new self to life. Up until I hit the runway, everyone was telling me, "Hey, don't walk like that, don't do this like that." But I insisted on my own style and did it my way. In the end, I took home first prize. At that moment, I began to realize the meaning of the saying, failure does not matter. The most important thing is finding confidence even when you fail. That's the most important thing of all. At that moment, however, I took first place. Representing Taiwan, I flew to the Czech Republic for Miss and Mr. Deaf World. I won Miss Deaf Asia. I felt inferior and shy, the same as everyone else. I always wanted to flee challenging obstacles and hide. However, when you are overwhelmed with stress, you must find a way to let out the negative emotions. You have to find a way to vent this emotion. It's normal. You are free to cry because maybe after crying, you will be able to face whatever obstacles is in your way. It's not a shame to face this failure. Do not be ashamed to face your failures. Facing failure is the beginning of breaking through and finding your true self. That's my story. I hope it gives you some inspiration. Thank you. I share my courage with you.